All right. Chihuahua. Sorry for being late, you guys. I said 6:15. It's already 6:30. But bless you for your patience. I thank all of you for coming into this sacred space that we as a group bring. So this is our shield, our community, our code, our memory. So welcome to this transmission of spirit, of knowledge, and forbidden history. And tonight we're going to be talking about Starseeds and Indigo Children, what those really are, what they mean, what their purpose is in the human drama unfolding in this, you would say, spiritual awakening period, this ascension period. And so this is something that is a part of a lot of the people who are interested in Christos Avatar TV. A lot of you who are attracted to this knowledge, the Emerald Order teachings, also called the Freedom Teachings or the innerchristos, Law of One, these teachings, a lot of you are connected to. You're coming from those guardian races and starseeds races. There's specifically 5 starseeds involved in the Earth drama. And so this is something that we find resonance with together, you and me, brother and sister. We resonate with the Emerald Order covenant for life, baby. What's up? We are connecting to that Christ consciousness, that unity. All are one, all are equal. There's no one that is separate from God. It's all part of Source, the unified field. And so in order to really understand what our starseeds, testing, is that you want to make sure one thing to realize is that a lot of the information out there in New Age is a little bit off, a little bit distorted, because there's only 5 starseed races, you guys. The Guardians call them cloistered races. There's earth seeds, or you call them root races. Root races are used to create other races, because you combine more than one root race progressively, that becomes a hybrid race, a new race. So that's what earth seeds on Earth are for. There's mostly earth seeds. And then there's a population of star seeds. They work together to create this, building, you could say, building of the human race, which is a super hybrid race. This is why there's star seeds included in our species. Humans are, there's something called bi-star seeds and tri-star seeds. That means you have 2 star seeds versus just 1. But, and 3, it means you have at least 3 star seeds. But humans are like, how do you say 5? Bi, tri, quad. I don't know, I'm not sure. But, we have 5 star seeds and 7 root races or earth seeds. That's 12. 12 races, 12 tribes, 12 chakras in the human diamond sun DNA template. We're a 12-strand race, you guys. 12-strand hybrid. 12 beings, 12 different races, 12 different races in one. This is a unique race, because not all races have that many tribes or different beings in their bloodline. So this is a massive level of consciousness in the human, angelic human. The original humans were angelic. Now obviously we've fallen from that here on Earth, but there's still angelic humans up there in the higher dimensions. And so a lot of what we're getting is these Antrian starseed. Okay, I just want to prep this by saying most New Agers have no idea what is the starseed. Now, you could be Palladian, you could be Arcturan or Syrian. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a starseed, but you're one of these, you would say, human friends, like working together, co-creating together, love each other. The Palladians are not a starseed for the human race, you guys. Orions are not starseeds for the human race. There's only blue flame, specific race, blue flame races who are working on it, and they're not known or popular. I mean, popular as in no one's talking about them in the mainstream of New Age. Nobody, absolutely nobody. Only the Emerald Order teachings and whoever's studying that realize who the actual 5 starseed races are. Antrian. You don't hear that in New Age. If you did a Google search on Antrian, there's no results. No one's talking about them. No one's talking about Brenoa, Hibaru. Melchizedek is known, but not known as a starseed for the human race. And then finally, Uniceti. 5 cloistered races, what we call starseed races. There's only 5 starseed races in the human genome. We'll go into that more in detail. I'm just starting this live and letting you know what it's going to be about. And so I welcome all of you. We're also, of course, we will be talking about Indigo Children, which is not a starseed. They're a different guardian race. They're both guardian races, but the Indigos are coming from another level. So that's tonight's topic from the Emerald Order point of view. I'm always transparent like that, you guys. I keep these books out here for a reason, so you know exactly where the source is, and we share these. It's not just in book form. Emerald Order, Emerald Covenant. This information is coming from not channeled information. It's coming from a physical library a digital advanced holographic disc record. This holographic disc record are called the CDT plates. Cloister, Dora, Terra plates. Cloister as in Dora, and the Terra cloister, which is angelic through archangelic records. But it goes beyond that. But this is the ones who are bringing the CDT plates to the Earth, bringing it literally hundreds of thousands of years ago. And, you heard me say forbidden history, because mainstream history says your timeline's like this. No, it's not. It's hundreds of thousands. Nope, it's millions of years. It's actually 25 million years, according to the Guardian teachings. We've had floods. We've had cleanup crews come and remove as much evidence as they could throughout these millions of years, not like yesterday. So the record, but there is still remnants of ancient times right in our faces, like the Egyptian pyramids, like the Great Sphinx, like Göteborg, these ancient cities that are being found, talked about in the, among people into the UFO or contactee, abductee communities, but in shows like Ancient Aliens, they talk about these super ancient sites. It does not click with the mainstream history line. We're much, much, much more ancient, you guys. I just explained that according to the Guardians, on Earth, we've been here for 25 million years, but we're not from Earth. We were seated on Earth 25 million years ago. We actually were created 560 million years ago on another star system. And I don't mean another galaxy here. I mean another universe. And one thing you'll learn about these, in another dimension, another universe. So there's galaxies, all right? And people call it something called the universe, but there's actually plural universes. They're within each other, separate. There's a specific separation between each one that you can't go through. You'd have to use stargates to get through to the higher dimensions or the higher universes. So, there's more than one universe. Well, there's actually universal stargates. There's regular stargates that take you to higher dimensions. But to go to a higher universe, you have to take a universal stargate. And so a lot of these extraterrestrial races are very familiar with the highway or network of portals, wormholes, stargates. It's ancient to them. It's commonplace for advanced extraterrestrial races to be traveling or jumping to other realities, to other dimensions, to other planets. You don't have to go light speed. You're not going light speed. I mean, they're not relying on light speed. They're relying on jumping to great, huge, incredible distances. This astronomical unit, AU, how many astronomical units is that star system? Or it doesn't even refer to, that's only refers to within our universe out of 5 universes. This is why we call it a multiverse. And a lot of and the starseeds are coming from another universe, not just another galaxy, another dimension and another universe. And you would say the second universe. They're technically called harmonic universes or density universes. But you can label them as Universe 1, Universe 2, Universe 3, 4, and 5. Because they're all within each other, like spheres within smaller spheres, within smaller. Ours is the smallest universal system, the lowest level. And so these ETs, who are much more evolved, these starseeds are ETs, but part of the human DNA. They're the ones help creating our human race. They're part of who we are. And so they're from the second universe, more evolved. But beyond these beings are the third universe, the fourth universe, the fifth universe, 5 universes. And each one of those has 3 dimensions. We're in the first one, right? Dimensions 1, 2, 3. The second universe is dimensions 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 dimensions. 5 universes times 3, there's 15 dimensions. And so those are reflected in our own light bodies. 12 of those are. The diamond sun is 12 strand. So we have 12 of the 15 in the human blueprint. It's a morphogenetic field blueprint, a race field, where all humans have this, you would say, bloodline. So we all are connected to that 12-strand diamond sun Christos avatars. Humans are angelic beings. They're guardian race originally. Obviously, we're not acting angelic down here because this is a fallen state. This isn't hell. This isn't the phantom. But it's a distorted reality because not the entire first universe. The entire, well, actually, there is distortion in all because of the angelic wars in density 4. So I'm correcting myself. But we have extra distortion because the malevolent fallen angelic ETs have messed with our planet's grids. So that made our distortion much, 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 much worse. We went from immortal beings. We were once upon a time on this planet, we're immortal. But after these fallen angelic extraterrestrial races, mostly the Anunnaki and the reptilians, because of what they've done, we have now mutated into a worse state than we even were before. And the mutations continue onward with getting injections and distorted beliefs. You distort the consciousness, you're going to distort the body form. You distort the body form, you distort the consciousness, vice versa. So they attack our body and our health. So it attacks, that's an off way to warp our consciousness. They'll warp our consciousness by these distorted religions and distorted New Age beliefs. Now your ideas and beliefs and values are distorted, but they also attack and make you sick and have viruses and cancers and diseases. So those are heavy combos, man, of mutated human, a distorted human. That's what this is why we have starseeds and indigo children coming to assist and like help heal or teach us how to heal ourselves and our planet, remind us of how to, because that knowledge is all already inside the human race. We just forgot and got all these distortions. It's a spiritual war, you guys. That's what we're involved in. That's what the starseeds and indigos are part of, to off balance a lot of the fallen angelic activity. And that's one of the reasons why they attack us, is because we are an angelic guardian race. And we are basically preventing not just them, any race who's trying to take over our stargates. You're guarding something. We're guarding the stargates. When it comes to the universe, stargates are prime resources, centers of power. I mean, you get access to a stargate, you have access to travel to other realities, other universes. And this is why the higher evolved races will put guardians here to protect them. We're the guardians of a universal stargate and all the other they're called Amente stargates in Earth and inner Earth. So we have these different portals going to other levels of creation. So it's a very important role. The human race is an important role as guardians over these gates. This is why we have had these intruder races trying to conquer us, trying to defeat us. They're doing a good job because they already kicked our asses before. In Human Seeding 3, Human Seeding 2, Human Seeding 1, and in Parallel Earth, they've been doing a good job. They're not schmucks. They can push around a guardian race like the humans. And so, thank you guys for being here. Let me say hello as we... this is a live transmission. Get this going. Oh yeah, I got a new cover. The other one had too much wax on it. I need to get a little thing to hold this. It's so simple, right? But I don't have anything like that right now. I gotta remind myself to get one. As long as it's level, it won't leak down. And let me get this charcoal going. This incense resins are cleansing and protecting our space. Thank you guys for spending your Tuesday night with us. Much respect to you, Starseeds and Indigos. Some of you attracted to this information are part of these Guardian Alliance races, Emerald Order races, such as the Oraphim, Angelic Humans, Azarites, Antrians, Brenois, Melchizedeks, Hiberus, Uniseti, which by the way includes white skin, black skin, yellow skin, red skin, brown skin. No racism in the Guardian way. We love all beings and all life. The hatred, the judgment, the aggression, the vampirism is coming from the fallen races. The ones who are instilling fear and religions and false creeds. Yeah, I meant to say hello to everyone. Sorry, guys. We got Helena Machiwa, Ninja Star Warriors of Light. She says, thank you for being here. Bless you, Star Sister. Yeah. We got Sandra in the house. What's up, Sandra? Hello, Christos Avatar TV. Hello, family. Machiwa, I love your positive vibes already. Thank you guys, both of you, for being a member for over a year. Blessings to you for supporting this work. Lauren Wisdom, Machiwa. Woohoo! Thank you, Lauren. Much respect to you, sister. I'm so happy to see you. Got Sandra. Blessings, soul brothers and sisters. Welcome, Sandra. Good to have you. Sir Madison, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? I saw your message. I'll reply to you tonight or tomorrow. Sorry for the delay, man. It's been hectic. Good to see you, brother. One of our moderators coming on in. What's up, Fatos? Anuhazi, dude, in the house. What's up, Holy One? Another Sandra. We got two Sandras tonight. This is Sandra Pament. Machiwa Holy Ones. Blessing, sister. El Salvador, Ra, Sha, La. You said it. Somebody's been studying the work, right? Machiwa. Yeah, you were a bit early. Sorry I was just late. So sorry, but good to see you, Ritun. Thank you for the positive energy, Holy One. Woohoo! Let's do this! Laura Wisdom. MRN Gooch, new to the channel. I'm trying to understand what Machiwa means. I hear it used so many times, different contexts, that I'm just lost. It's just a light language of my light, like you would say, something that comes out of my family of consciousness. It's something that some starseeds or indigos, like me, I'm an indigo child, you're connecting to higher dimensions of identity. Light language is an example of coming from those identities. I speak English. I know a few Spanish words, a few Russian words. You know, Zdravstvuyte, Russian. Privyet, Borsh. I know some Espanol. What's up? Carnal, orale, vatos. But Machiwa is not coming from Earth, it's coming from the stars. Machiwa is like a positive, loving greeting, respectful greeting, a respectful, kind word, a feeling, emotion, a bonding. There you go. Good question. I get asked that a lot. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy the show today, Holy One. Daphne B! Yeah, there we go, Daphne B. That aligning synchrony, right? Ruth in the house. Woohoo! Amy Felice from Canada. Love you too, Star Sister. Thank you for holding space with us. Much blessings to you. El Nixon, Rider of Dragons. Good evening, fam. What's up, homie? Inlete Machiwa fam. Happy to exchange positive energy with you all. Yeah, Machiwa is kind of like a trademark for our crew now. Elixir Vision. Sammy in the house. It's never too late to connect with you, Starseeds. Big hello from Tunisia. Blessings, Sammy. Good to have you from across the world. Ruth, thank you, Holy One. I try to, I spent 10 minutes trying to create a new background. There you go. When I ran out of time, I just said, okay, this isn't good enough. Thank you for that feedback. As Elizabeth Lang, Syrian Star Princess. Woohoo! Thank you, guys. I better get started. If you guys have questions for me, make sure you just put inside your message somewhere, Christos Avatar TV, and then it becomes highlighted so I can see it more easy. And this really is a journey, you guys, a spiritual awakening happening on Earth because of what's called the stellar activation cycle, which was a Stargate opening, but now it's already going into the Stargate closing cycle. But still, there's Stargates opened, which is what is a Stargate? It's a planet's chakra. Okay? And it has 12 just like we have 12. The planet has 12 chakra. So there's 12 different Stargates on Earth. And we talk about those and where they're located, like one's in the Painted Desert of Arizona. Some of the Sedona vortices are connected to the Painted Desert Stargate. This is why Sedona itself is got known historically to have a exceptional amount of energies. And so you'll see a lot of UFO activity around Stargates. So there's other ones around the planet, and I made a video just listed all of them, all the different Stargates. So there's different types of gates, and like there's even one in Antarctica, but that's not a Stargate. There's just different references, different names, and there's something called control sites. It's not a Stargate, but it's something that connects with the Stargates. And so back in the day, this is where Starseeds and angelic human tribes were seated around these Stargates. You know, like I mentioned earlier, how significant Stargates really are, and why ETs want to have control over them. And so this is part of our drama, actually. I mean, George Bush Jr., right? Invaded in another country. What was his real presence? Why did, this whole black false flag that old terrorists attacked us, but what was that all really about? What have most wars really been about? These talk about 9/11. They talk about Korea, Vietnam War, Civil War, the attack on Pearl Harbor. There's World War I, World War II. They talk about what the true purposes of these wars are for. So, check it out. It's not just in book form, it's in PDF form. We share those links. So, to understand Starseeds, this is why I started explaining the creation context. So we have let me show you the 15-dimensional time matrix to help explain these visual ideas. And let me open that up in Photoshop. One second. Let me switch to Photoshop. And so we have the 15-dimensional matrix. We live in here somewhere. It's a 15-dimensional, what I explained, in 5 universes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 universes. Okay? And so we live in the first one, the lowest one, the smallest one. And I do mean small and low. Lowest and smallest. The farther you go into creation, the greater the energy, the greater the consciousness, the greater the body matter. You become more and more evolved. So we're here. This is a self-contained system. Okay, because these are actually, you can't get across these. Every universe is going to have this block here. It's a literal block. So you can't just fly with the UFO or whatever, spaceship, to the second universe. You have to take Stargates. Okay, Stargates take you upward. This one takes you, downward or upward. So this one will go to the 5th dimension. This Stargate takes you to the 6th dimension, 7. It gets you up through the universes. Portals are different. Let's say there's portals in this universe. Well, it doesn't take you outside the universe. It takes you within the universe. Different time periods within its universe. You'll have portals in the second universe going to different timelines. You have Stargates, no, I mean portals in the third universe doing the same thing, and portals in the fourth universe. So you can call these universe 1, universe 2, or you can just call them density universe, like it says, density universe, or maybe you prefer holographic universe. They're the same thing. So this is where most of the starseeds are coming from, the second universe, and they're coming down into the lower levels of the first universe. This is why they're more evolved than us. They literally, while humans mostly have these 3 chakras, Templar, well, these starseeds are going to have up to 12. I mean, they will have like 7 through 12 chakra, and the first chakra, and one of these other 7 chakra. So that's, let's say 7. 7 is 1 chakra, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus, they all have strand 1, plus 1 more. All starseeds helping the humans have 8 strands. That's much more evolved than we are. With only, most humans are only 2.5 to 3.5 strands, while these beings have 8 chakras. See the difference? You know, even the beings in the 4th dimension are much more evolved than like godlike to us. Can you imagine what these kind of beings are with 8 chakra? This is what starseeds are. Specifically, the Antrian, the Brenua, the Hibaru, Melchizedek, and Uniseti. So that's what I'm showing you on that. So let me get the other diagrams real quick. 1 second here. Machiwa. No. I guess we could use this one, but it's not opening. 1 second. Open with Photoshop, please. Thank you. It's progressive here, and we have breakdown of our diamond sun DNA. I mentioned 12 strands of DNA. And well, let's first show you the original. This is the original angelic human. Angelic human. Angelic human. We're not angelic right now down here. But this is what, see, when I said most humans have 2.5 up to 3.5, but these starseeds have, there's their names right there. They have strand 7, strand 8, strand 9, 10, and 11, 12. Well, actually, see, to get strand 1, you have to go point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you get the strand. This is how the 12th one is built. This one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has 11 point, until it gets to 11, you know, the decimal carries over into the 12. So you actually do have 12 races. Polaran, Hyperborean, Lemurian, Atlantean. These are the Earthseed races. Aryan, Muvarian, and Chechi. And then these starseed races are Antrian, Brenua, Hibaru, Melchizedek, Uniseti. Notice there's no Pleiadians, there's no Syrians or Orions or Arcturans or Andromedans. This is why there's a huge confusion in the New Age. We're just breaking it down from the Emerald Order point of view. This is the specific races. You're going to see this in Voyager's books. You're going to see this in the Emerald Order video workshop series. These are the actual starseeds. Has nothing to do with Pleiadians, Syrians, Arcturans, whatever. Okay? Just saying. Now, some of those races are our friends, like the Pleiadians. They're helping us too in their normal form. They're not a starseed hybrid form. They're in their race, and they'll come to our planet. They can visit us. They can connect with you. Maybe you can even incarnate here, but you're not a starseed. You're not an Earth starseed. I mean, don't be upset. I'm just saying you're still helping us. You're still helping Earth. And you're not one of the 5 starseed. There's only 5 starseed races. And it's breaking down in great detail, I believe, in Voyagers 1. Oh, actually, it might be Voyagers 2. Sorry, it is in Voyagers 2, the first couple of chapters. The first few chapters of Voyagers Book 2. It's going to literally talk about how the root races are broken down into smaller segments called sub-races. Sub-races are broken down into families. Talks about how each one adds up to more substrands to complete a full strand of DNA, and how they're coming to the Earth and building up the human genetic hybridization through time. It takes time to do this. You have to progress from one hybrid to the next one until you keep combining into a greater race, and that's what these starseeds are doing. You guys, this is how beings get to a planet. Higher races come and seed a planet. Higher races came to Earth and seeded it, the humans here. Progression. Not dropped them off, but started creating them over time. Star seed means star DNA. You're bringing star DNA and mixing it with the Earth DNA, races on Earth, root races, Earth seed races. You mix it together. Now the Earth seeds are expanding, right? Because of the starseed DNA. The starseeds are meant to help the Earth seeds leap, become a greater being. They're mixed on purpose to create. What we're doing is we're reclaiming the angelic human DNA, which is 12 strands. You start with one strand, get the second strand, like the Lemurians built the second strand. The Atlanteans built the third strand. And the next race is us, the Aryans, the fourth strand. Then the future race after us, we're gone. There's going to be one creating the fifth strand called Muvarians. You see how it works? Then they create the sixth strand with the Unchechi. That's actually, remember, there's 2 races that create strand 1. So that's why there's 7. There's still 7. Hyperboreans, Polarians, Lemurians, Atlanteans, Aryans, Muvarians, Unchechi, 7 Earth seed or root races, who are now the first 2 aren't really they're not having the star seeds because they were developed on Gaia. Strand 1, strand 2 were on Gaia. That's why the other, remember, there's 7. So if 2 of them are not part of the star seed thing, there's 5 races, 5 Earth seed races with the 5 star seed races. It sounds confusing, but when you actually go through the books in order, you will learn and understand it better. It's still kind of hard to understand because it doesn't follow you're not going to be getting the answers in mainstream science or biology or anything like that, because this is multidimensional spiritual science. Science hasn't even discovered the soul yet. They're behind. So, Antrian Starseed. See, you don't have a bunch of information in your mind about, maybe you have a bunch of information about Pleiadians, but who the F are Antrians? So, it's a very tricky question when people keep on asking me, what starseed am I? Well, first of all, you probably have no idea of these starseed races. You don't know about Antrian, Brenawa, Hibaru, Melchizedek, or Uniseti, and how they've been here since 25 million years ago, and how they intermingled, with because they lived, and some of them lived in the parallel system, not even in our system, but this is how this ascension process works. So it does get complicated trying to explain it all, but I basically try to bring it down to an easier to understand level. Basically, it's just hybridization with the advanced races, and it has to do with morphogenetic fields. It has to do with the chakras, the Templars, and the DNA template. You're trying to grow the DNA template, so when the root seed race goes into the body, it's going to have a new experience in the future of itself, of its evolution. So that's the purpose of starseeds, man. The starseeds are here to help with the DNA. Indigo children aren't doing that. They're not helping with their DNA. They're not combining it with, we're actually coming from kind of like a different mission. And there's 3 different types of indigo children. So there's 3 different types of missions. One's mostly to heal a Nephilim soul essence. Another one's here to bring in more awareness and more frequency of ascension and awakening. And the third type is to help with grid work. So there's different agendas for the indigos, but the main starseed agenda is to help bring in the consciousness of awakening and ascension, and to be successfully get the human race evolved to a certain level so it can go into the second universe. Right now we're stuck in the first universe. We should already be ascending to 5D Tara, a second universe. But we're blocked from that now. Because of the spiritual war, most humans are they're not ascending, they're repeating and repeating reincarnation over and over because they can't go nowhere, they can't go higher. This is why now there's guardians, indigo children, coming here and teaching bio-spiritual healing techniques. So you can have a solution to get the F out of here, to get beyond the DNA blocks, which are done by some of the ETs. They have, they're geneticists. They've effed with us. And so now they created hybrids. Now humans are getting, they're having sex with hybrids. They don't know it. They just see another human, they think. But now you have generations and generations and nations and cultures of mixed human races here. We're not being racist, but that wasn't our intention to mix with other races. An extraterrestrial race. We're meant to be on our planet with our star seeds and our earth seeds, but now you got reptilians coming in and having sex with our humans, or genetically modifying humans with their reptilian DNA, and the Anunnaki are doing the same thing. On purpose. First of all, to get hybrid bodies here so they can have their soul essences go into those bodies. Then they take those negative fallen angelic agendas on Earth and mess up angelic humans. Become part of the Illuminati factions and bloodlines and controlling family lines. Families that are about control and domination. Because they're trying to control the angelic human, disempower the angelic human so they can't effectively be guardians anymore. They're doing a good job. Most humans don't even know they're angelic humans. They don't even know what that is. They have this distorted idea of what angels even are. Right? This is why I make so many videos about angels. I would think you would get it by now, what they are. And so, Machiwa, holy ones. And this is a live, you guys, and we have G-Light, tent member for 10 months, holy one. And Ohazi Machiwa, I'm feeling better. So grateful for you all. I'm glad you're feeling better, G-Light. Bless you, sister. Good to see you. Thank you for rocking that membership for 10 months. Woohoo! You're on your way to that rainbow star. What's up? Helena 20-month member. OMG. Much love and respect to all Ninja Star Warriors of Light. Peace, love, and light. Christos Avatar TV, thank you for this live. Thank you so much for that positive feedback, sister. Thank you for your guys' contribution in chat. You guys are making this place the way it is. You guys are part of this. All of you in chat right now are part of this movement. Innerchristos movement. Bless all of you waking up. Jazzy Jazz, Star Sister, give me a hug. Woohoo! Yes! Hi, Anahazi. Do we as indigos guard the gates by just bringing the indigo energy here? Yeah, you can say that. It's mostly about the consciousness. You would say that's part of the important part, is bringing your awareness and your awakening. And like I said, if you're an indigo type 2, it's mostly about healing yourself. And the indigo, you would say, the Nephilim soul essence with you. Because I talk about that. That's 2 souls in one body. That's indigo type 3s. That's their main concern. Because that's a tough battle to deal with. So then there's indigo type 2s who are meant to do kind of like teaching others about ascension and awakening, kind of like what I'm doing. But there's also indigo type 1s who are into grid work. And so those are people who are probably going to be studying the advanced teachings of Oshana, who are talking about the round tables and all the other advanced grid working techniques. They're going to teach you how to do group grid working. The official Emerald Covenant grid working, not some new age like grid working. Because the new age is fallen angelic. It's Jehovian teaching you reverse grid work. They're the same beings calling you chosen ones. Source God's not calling you a chosen one. Guardian groups don't call you chosen ones. And so, yeah, Jazzy Jazz, it's just bringing it. We're just bringing that code and the awakening. Like, we know this stuff, but we come to Earth, we have to go, we have a little bump on our head, we have to remember, but that's what we're doing. Look, we're remembering. So thank you, Jazzy Jazz. Syrian Star Princess, woohoo! All right, you guys, we got it going on. We got another Holy Ones, Syrian Star. Good evening, crew. And Christos Avatar TV, bless you. Thank you for that exchange of energy, sister. Much respect. We got Kevin. Woohoo! Grateful for your work you do, brother. Keep going. I will, man. Thank you so much for that support. It means a lot. And I do this. This is my service. This is my full-time work towards you guys. Blessings to all of you and your support. And those who are members, you're supporting this work too. Much respect to you guys. And your family, we came here, Starseeds and Indigos, in a group effort. We are a group effort. And there's so much drama and distortion in the world, it's hard sometimes for us to wake up and find each other. But look, we have. And this has always been a part of my mission, is to provide this community, to bring a community of us together. And so, I'm not the only one, of course. There's other people like Samuel. He's doing a good job over there. Dr. Samuel Lee. And also, there's a few other people that I've interviewed who are covering some of these teachings. And please check out my interviews, because you can check out some of their channels as well. And so I'm always trying to find, new interviews to see even if they're just talking about stuff that we have in common, right? So doesn't mean they cover all of these teachings. But much respect and to all of you, and thank you guys for that support. If you like this work, please consider donating, because that's how I keep on doing this full time. So thank you for that. And it's a spiritual war. They don't want us to have our 12 strand. The intruder races, the dark negative races don't want us to have this reclamation, this awakening. They want to keep us sleeping. They want to keep us, they'll make great efforts to trick us into false teachings. You know, there is false light systems mixed in with legitimate light systems. And so it requires discernment. And two of the strongest things that you can check any information, any person who's trying to teach spiritual stuff, you know, any book, any video, check that source if it's aligned with law of one, all are equal. I don't mean raw material. That's a distorted version of law of one. See, they're trying to attack our law of one. We're the innerchristos law of one, which is true unity and omni-love, you guys. Omni-love, have you ever heard of omni-love? No, because only if you've been studying this work, because this is where the concept comes from. You're not going to find it in the distortions of religion or the distortions of New Age. It's coming from the guardians bringing back universal code. You know, the indigos, the starseeds are bringing that literal code in their DNA, in their consciousness, in their connections, in their memories. It's not relied on a book. Out of respect, you don't need the book, right? You don't need a teacher or a guru. The book is just you would say, a compass to help you remember, to get data, to bring the data so that you can review and remember. It's what it does. This information helps spark an awakening. And so, this is the great work that a lot of us are connected to, you guys. We're connected to these teachings in one form or another. This information right here is teaching about how this hybridization of earth seeds and star seeds all happened. Why it happened in the first place. Because we don't come from Earth or the first universe. We come from the second universe. But part of us, not all of our race, part of our race fell because of the cataclysm and the warring that happened in the second universe. A cataclysm created this, they used extremely powerful tech and weaponized it. They weaponized technology that created a cataclysm, a destruction, a cataclysm, and it made, it's an energy mechanics that is a reverse mechanics to fall into a lower universe, the first universe, which is a lower version of the second universe. So they fell into the part of our people. So you could say this is a rescue mission, because part of our people fell in disembodiment without their bodies. Okay, so you're not incarnating because they're stuck in the hollow fields of the first universe. They're stuck in the dimensional fields without a body. It's called disembodied. The beings that fell in the cataclysm fell into disembodiment. They do not have bodies. So this is what we're doing. We're hybridizing bodies so these beings can come into them, reincarnate into them. Now you just took a disembodied, gave it a body. Now it's got an opportunity to get back on track, but it has to build its DNA back to get back to the home world. 5D Tara. It sounds like science fiction. It sounds like made up. But you guys, this is talked about in great detail in several chapters in Voyager's books. There was cataclysm in the second universe, which created disembodied consciousness in the first universe. The Guardians came to this place. There was a solar system created in 12 pieces. And so there was life seated on each one. We're only learning about our planet and our part. Makes you think about all the other planets and their parts of our solar system, I mean. They have their own stargates. They have their own agendas. We have ours. I'm not talking about the aliens who are messing with us. I'm talking about the other beings who fell in the Cataclysm. It wasn't just people. It was pieces of Tara that created the planets. So we got a whole thing going on, but I don't want to make it complex here, except that we're dealing with our planet and our race and our stargates and our hybridization, creating bodies, creating Lemurian bodies, creating Atlantean bodies. Now we're creating the Aryan bodies. In the future, we'll be creating, see what I'm saying? It's in stages. To create and reclaim a body, an angelic human body, to return back to Tara. I mean, you'll be returning into Tara by the time you get your 5th strand. By the time you get your 5th strand, you'll already be back in Tara, but you still got to go through more evolution to create the Diamond Sun DNA. Our job is to get 6 strands. That's the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra, also called Templar. You get the 6th Templar activated. It's explained in the teachings. You get the Starseed DNA plugs into that. After you get your 6th, now you're connected to the rest of the DNA, the rest of the 12-strand DNA. So you don't have to go through those stages. You just have to get back up to strand 6. And then you get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 added on because you don't have to, that's the Cataclysm happened before that. You see what I'm saying? The Cataclysm affected 1 through 6. There was Cataclysm in Tara, which is dimensions 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. So you don't have to worry about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what these starseeds have. I explain that so I can show now. So this is kind of like an example of a starseed. See, it has 7. This is the Antrian, Brenoa. 8. They have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and they all have strand 1 because of these 2 races are created strand 1 first. This was the first thing that had to be done is the Polarian and the Hyperborean, and they did this in Gaia. 25 million years ago, they did this in Gaia. Human seeding 1. So strand 1 has always been taken care of first. So all the beings had a strand 1, but the Lemurians came, and this starseed came to help the Lemurians create the 2nd strand. So look at all the strands that this starseed has, plus the 1st, and then they came with the 2nd, and so they could get some of the disembodied consciousness that needed to go into the Lemurian body, and then they needed to get. And this is what the Lemurian is. See, this is the Earth seed without the starseed strands. So we got 2 strands. Then we go to the 3rd strand with the Atlanteans. And then to us, which is the 4th strand, we're working on it. You see, we're working on it. And then the future race is creating 5 strands of our 12. Remember, I said you have to get to the 3rd eye. You have to get to 6. Once you get these 6, look, you get the starseed DNA that you saw up here plugged in. So we have to get these, basically these, to get the rest of it plugged in. So we only need to get up to the 6th, which is this race, the Unchechi in the future. And then this is also a future Earth Tara. So some of your incarnation will be in Earth at the end of the cycle of Earth and then beginning of Tara. So some of that will be inner Earth races actually. But I don't know if that makes sense. You're trying to reclaim this because of the cataclysm that happened. We're reclaiming, and these fallen angels don't want us to reclaim. They want us stuck down here and having problems and issues. You see, this is why they're interrupting. That's why they're called intruder races. They intrude on this, that we can't accomplish this. This is explained in Voyagers. It talks about how, the strands. It talks about when they came into Earth and which ones had which color skin. Their Antrians had the brown skin. They gave us brown skin on our planet. Their Atlantean races, that's the Earthseed. The Brenoa brought us the red skin race, or the red skin potential. Hibarus brought us the white skin potential, which is so prevalent now because that's the current race we're in. We're currently in that hybrid. And so the Melchizedek brought in the yellow skin to our pool, and the Uniseti brought the black skin to the pool. So the colored skins are not coming from the Earth races. They're coming from the Starseed races. So let me see. This is an example of how we go from 2-strand races to 3-strand to 4-strand to 5-strand to 6-strand. And then you get the Starseed races plugged in. You don't have to go through all this growth only because the Cataclysm on Tara affected all these strands. So all these strands had to be redeveloped. Does that make sense? Because some of the consciousness fell. The Cataclysm happened here. Okay, here's the full time matrix again. If the Cataclysm happened in Tara, in the higher dimensions, destruction, cataclysm, fall into reverse consciousness. I mean, just fall into a black hole, into this system. Now you're disconnected from Tara and your memory, by the way. And now you only have a few strands instead of these. Now they only have this DNA. And so you have disembodied consciousness. According to Oceana, according to the Voyagers books, there was disembodied consciousness here, and there was disembodied consciousness here, and there was disembodied consciousness in the lower astral. This is why you get some negative dark shit in the lower astral and some negative stuff in the D3, disembodied spirits. You could say disembodied spirits in the second D. Well, you come along and create lifetimes, 12 lifetimes. These bodies are helping collect all of the disembodied consciousness and then reclaim and come back to 3, come back to 4, come back to 5. We get back their 6th strand because of those 6 races and get that plugged into your DNA, Diamond Sun DNA. And this is in the Voyagers books. If you don't like how I explained it, well, it's broken down in much, much more detail in this, 1 second, almost 600-page book. Okay, it's explained in different chapters, and then it goes into even modern times. You'll start reading about what's happening in all the wars and what's going on in the ascension cycle. Excuse me. How there was a plan, ascension plan A, now there's no longer a plan, then there's ascension plan B. We get thwarted, we get messed up, we get our plans ruined by these fallen angels. So it's a spiritual war still going on, you guys. But this is explaining a lot about what starseeds are doing and how they're a big part of the human race. Machiwa. Indigo Wizard brother wrote a message. Ka ra ya sa ta Allah. Peace and omni love, brother. Thank you, man. Much respect, Indigo Wizard homie. What's up? Thank you, man. Much respect to our moderator, Indigo Wizard. Then we got Inleton. I love you all. So grateful for each and every one of you. Bless you, family. Thank you, Inleton. Bless you, man. So happy to have you with our crew. Yeah. Got some heavy hitters. Thank you for sharing that link, Sir Madison. Bless you, brother. This is how we keep it going. Yeah. Indigo 55, you have to do your birth natal chart. Soul-based is doing these. So you know where all your incarnations be, brother. You don't have to do no natal chart, brother. That's her choice. She's going into astrology. She's going into birth charts. You don't need a birth chart. You know what you need? You need your chakra activated. You can't go to the fourth dimension without a fourth chakra. You can't go to the fifth dimension without the throat chakra. Has nothing to do with natal charts. Absolutely zero. And neither does Christ consciousness have anything to do with birth charts, and neither does unity consciousness have anything to do with birth charts. You don't need anything that the New Age is offering you. You don't need palm readings. You don't need to do automatic writing. You don't need to connect to self-proclaimed archangels or saints or demigods or gods. You don't need anything between you and Source God. Understand this, that you have everything you need to ascend inside of you. You just have to go on your spiritual journey and awaken it. And you don't hear or see Ashiana or the Guardians talking about these birth charts or needing to do some chart work, man. It's nonsense. I'm calling that out. We don't agree with that. So just saying, respectfully, lovingly, to each your own, because there's a lot of people who think that stuff is necessary, or you need someone or someone else or something else to get you to ascension. No, you do not. But there is some serious, you would say, distortions in the human race that has to be healed. And so the teachings help you to heal that. Without a birth chart, you can do Maharic seal. You can do fire letters. You can do the mentor technique. You can sing sacred songs. It's about building your frequency, your code, your conscious awakening, your knowledge and awareness. That's what Ascension's about, homie. Much respect. Ivanka, blessings, sister. Thank you so much for that exchange of energy. Thank you for being a member for at least a few months. Much respect. Thank you for being in the house today and sharing space with us, Machiwa. But yeah, you guys, there is actually, let me share an important document since someone's trying to bring up birth charts. Let me show you an important document. There's something called a split in the shield that happened. KS. Okay, of course it's going to give me a problem. Let me open it. Files. Christos avatar. No, actually websites. Thanks for your patience, you guys, because we got to talk about this. MCEO split. That's why I thought it was KS split, but it's MCEO split. Because I don't agree with calling it Kalontic science. All right, you guys, here's a link for you guys. Here's a link For those of you who think you need something like a birth chart, you don't need anything. Take a look at that letter. That's about what happened with the shield split and how, how there was talk about how people are saying you need something to ascend or something in the matrix, right? And so just realize that Becca is teaching astrology, and I'm not going to say hate on her. I love her for her work, and maybe she sees it differently, and that's perfectly fine. But just understand this: astrology is connected to fallen angelic practices. Astrology is about the planets, turning them into gods. Aligning, Jupiter is supposedly Zeus, and then you got the Roman gods, or if you're working with Roman gods or Greek gods, these are not the energies of the Christic guardians, homie. We're not connecting. Those names are literally Pluto, Greek gods, Saturn, Kronos, Greek god. This is astrology. This is what you're aligning yourself with. This is what you're connecting to. The symbols, the planets, it has nothing to do with your ability of your light body or your consciousness or your shield work or unity or Christ consciousness. And Christ consciousness is actually a 12th dimensional level of yourself. This is realizing that that's where we come from. I mean, we have that connection, and that's where the feline hominid races called Anuhazi come from, the 12th dimension. They're Christos avatars, but they have more than 12 strands. They have up to 48 strands. So they're a much higher race than the humans. The humans are a smaller race. We're a small race, you guys. With 12 strands, it's a big race compared to most races, but it's still a small race compared to Orifeme, or who are the ones who actually seeded us from their DNA imprint. So they have up to 24 strands, and then there's Emerald Orifeme, who have even higher strands, 36 strand or 48 strand. Then we have the Lyran Syrian Anuhazi. That was actually in one of the diagrams I showed. Some of these races are much greater DNA packages than humans. Like, let me show. And it's the same thing with Lisa Renee. I certainly don't agree with everything she says either. She will go off on her own tangent like some of these people do. They will go off and add their own ideas and their own practices. You might even see someone using tarot cards trying to teach Christic knowledge. It ain't happening. It's a distortion. Was it this one? Oh, it's this one. Okay, so this is humans. Look, way down here with only 12 strands is humans. Look at all these beings who have up to 24 strands or higher. We got the Elohim who had 24 strands, the Lyran Syrian Anuhazi 24 strands. The Anuhazi, this is actually, they have 48 strands, some of them. And so, this is a whole nother level of, this is perspective. You look at humans with 3 strands, and then you start looking at beings that have 12, 24, we got all these Raw Confederacy, the Urtarnates, Ceres, Pleiadians, Lumarians of Mu, Alanians, Anunnaki, some of them. There's a whole bunch of different races. We're not the center of shit, because there's a whole bunch of people who think we are the center of the freaking universe when they don't even know what is a universe, and they probably don't even believe in extraterrestrials or know anything about the context of creation. And so that's where that's coming from. So. But the starseeds, you will get some ideas of what you are from your own chakra work. When you do your own chakra work, you're connecting to that levels of yourself. You open the fourth chakra, you're connecting to the fourth dimension. You activate the throat chakra, you're connecting to the fifth dimension. You activate the sixth chakra, you're connecting to the sixth dimension. So you're going to go higher to the crown. That's the archangel level. Archangel level. The thalamus, another archangel level. You go into the galactic one level. And then there's the earth star level. But you would say 6 inches below your feet. You don't have any, you would say most new age systems only go up to 7. And we're talking about 15, 12 to 15, right? So then there's beings who live, who ascend in this level, and they ascend in the parallel level. That's 24 strands. 12 here, 12 there. And then you got beings who are getting strands of DNA in the ascended master levels. 12 more up to 36, and then 12 more up to 48, which is the maximum. These are beings like the ecadic beings, polaric beings, triadic beings. Beings from the higher outside. And as a matter of fact, indigo type 2s and indigo type 3s are coming from the ascended master levels. Okay? Which blows away the starseed DNA. You know, the starseed DNA goes, they only have 8. Indigos have a minimum 24. That's an indigo type 3. Indigo type 3 and indigo type 2s, I mean. 36 strand. And then those ones like Jeshua, Jesus, the real Jesus, not the false one that was in the Bible. The real Jesus, Jeshua, Sananda, Melchizedek, had 48 strands of DNA. You see, humans ain't the center of the universe. Just saying. So that's angelic human. Much less a 3-strand human, 2.5-strand human. You know, a stub, not a full strand, but a little stub, 2.5, 2.5, maybe 3.5. And we're talking about races that have all these other levels. And so there's not really a reference point for people to really understand until they go on their own journey and awakening and discover that potential within yourself. And then you start perceiving, literally perceiving these higher realities, these higher races. You will start interacting with these higher races. I have this young couple living next to me in the guest house, and they're on their own spiritual journey of awakening. And, you know, trying to find out who they are. A lot of us are trying to find out who we are. And I want to ask to check if any of you have experienced this. This young couple, both of them experienced pain right around here. They don't know what that is, and I never heard of a pain that you get, and they say it's a little bit stronger when they take medicine. They feel the pain, but they feel like the pain is subsiding as they do more of psilocybin, which is a very healing thing and a very awakening thing. Even though you hear people in the Christos material say, no, you're not supposed to be doing any of that. I disagree. Because it literally helps heal, helps assist, and connect to higher levels of yourself. That could take an entire lifetime, but normally, man, this is like burnt smell. And it's hitting some older stuff in there, so. But yeah, if anyone else has had this feeling I don't have it, but they had this feeling of pain. Write to me, send me a message, because I want to know more about that, so I can give them some ideas about that. I think a lot of it is trauma building up in a specific center, and we cannot just ignore trauma from our past, from when we're younger. We have to bring it out, heal it, release it, let go of it, consciously let go and release. And it could be a lot of trauma that you're dealing with. A lot of kids in these early, young generations have dealt with a lot of distortion as this fallen work gets as we go deeper and darker in the drama playing out, the kids are getting more and more effed up. So when they grow to be adults, they're effed up adults. Hardcore distortions. While they're injecting you, and a lot of people think it's okay to take this shit, and they take it, and now you're like totally effed up. Now you're in a worse scenario than you were before. So yeah, man, I look back when I was a kid, it's a whole different world now. I see my kids and my brother and sister's kids, and, you see generations getting worse and worse and more crazier. And then there's still people thinking that we're going to some, planetary awakening. Even people I interviewed think that, man. So it's not happening, guys. That's literally a phantom Earth exists because of beings who aren't making it. There's a phantom Nibiru, there's a phantom Alcyon, there's a phantom Earth. We have a phantom because some of our population fell. You ain't having a global ascension. It ain't happening. A global ascension is extremely rare. You would see obvious signs of it in the world playing out. Do you see those signs, you guys? Honestly, let's be real. Do you see signs? Do you see the whole world waking up? Because if you're one of those people saying that we're going to a global awakening, you have no discernment. You're not seeing. You got this, covering of your eyes. You don't see the war, the death, the negative people everywhere, every freaking where. Even starseeds can be negative and caught up in it. And indigos, too. I'm just telling you, you can disagree with me. As your brother Anuhazi, not everybody is awakening or ascending. There's actually majority of humans are falling based on their own free will, based on it's almost like, okay, you guys don't know. Those Christic people supposedly don't know that they took over parallel Earth. Parallel Earth is gone. They destroyed us in human seeding 1 and human seeding 2. And they're kicking our asses in now. Do you see a global awakening, guys? Do you think all these billions, and it's literally, fact check me. There's billions of humans. Out of 8 billion, there's billions of humans following these religions. That is not a majority of humans waking up. That's a majority of people falling. There ain't people, there is no global awakening. You would see signs of it. It would be obvious signs of us winning, of unity awakening. Do you see one nation One place on earth awakening. Wake up, holy ones. Have some discernment. You disagree? Show me some examples. List some examples. Let us know where you see an awakening happening across the earth. It's not happening. It's not. Yeah, let's get real. There's only a tiny population of beings, and only some of those are learning unity. Law of one. Learning about their Templar and that you need to heal Templar in order to ascend. Not birth charts, not psychic readings, not someone else telling you who you are. It's about your inner Christ, your inner God connection, and activating it and knowing it. You do not see a bunch of billions of humans awakening their inner Christos. That's another way to check. Where in the earth are they teaching the inner Christ? You don't see it in movies. If you saw us awakening, you would see it in movies. You would see it in video games. What are video games? It's all about killing stuff. Not all video games, but almost all video games that your kids are playing, by the way, and that adults are playing, are about killing stuff. Check every video game that you played, and you're killing stuff. We're killing stuff. Our movies are about killing stuff. Where, brothers and sisters, do you see a global awakening? Get real. Let's get real, please. We would love it. I would love it. I would want everyone to awaken. But it's all free will, choice to follow the phantom. And it didn't happen yesterday. This is something that's been building and building and building, and it's going into some greater building, faster, stronger building. I mean, all the people who mean well, they want the people in New Age who mean well. They want to know what is awakening and ascension. But they're caught up in false teachings. There's a whole landscape of false teachings that legitimate indigos and starseeds are getting entangled in. And now they're practicing the occult. Now they're practicing, these New Age systems like was mentioned tonight. Just following these practices that the Guardians don't talk about them. The actual Emerald Order Guardians are not talking about these practices, are they? Did you find one workshop teaching you astrology? Honestly, right? Let's be real. Do you have any of them talking about scrying into a crystal ball? Okay? Or doing tarot cards? Do you see one workshop about that? Right? What does that tell you, holy ones? So, if you want to be real, if you want to be aligned with the actual Emerald Order innerchristos law of one, then that's your source. That's what we practice. That's the path we walk. Let me look this up in the PDF real quick. Open PDF. Voyagers 1 and 2, start with that. And then switch it so you guys can see it. Laren Syrian. Let me put Laren Syrian model. Maybe it's in Master Stewardship Initiative. So let me check that. Open that one. Yeah. This is under the Law of One Emerald Order. The founders' innerchristos teachings include the Emerald Covenant, the Law of One, and the Lyran Syrian model of peaceful, co-creative, egalitarian, self-sovereign co-evolution. The Law of One represents the Janus Ascended Master's protocol of divine right interrelationship, which promotes unconditional love, co-nurturing, and healing of all races through the recognition that all beings, manifest beings, are faces of Source manifest. There is only one consciousness, Source God, and all things and beings are living, diversified expressions of that common identity. The Law of One recognizes that beings who conduct themselves in seemingly ungodly ways are those who have most forgotten this core truth in their divine identity. But through healing and reawakening of the God's spark within, the D12 innerchristos, any being can eventually remember and embody its blessed heritage. You see, when this memory returns, unconditional love and co-creative divine right interrelationship become the natural embodied instinct, and acting as if the God in all things matters becomes the only sane and rational use of the divine gift of sovereign free will. Now, let me put astrology. Let me see. Astrology. You see if you get anything. 0 results. Now, let me look in the... Let's see what the Jehovian fallen angelic beings brought us. They brought us major distortions in the Lemurian, Atlantean, Essene, Emerald Covenant, CDD plate crystals teachings. They created Christian Protestant text distortions. They're the ones who created the Antria book, and I have people using that as a reference. I see that people trying to do that in my videos. They'll make comments about the Urantia book. Hello, that's just like the religion of Mormon. Here it is right here. Mormon texts. The Jehovian Anunnaki are the ones who created Yahweh, Jehovah, God's stories, and the false 12-tribe history in Hebrew Christian text. They promote Jehovah, Yahweh, Metatron, Ephanium, Enoch, Archangel Michael, and Tibetan creeds. They brought us occult stuff like the Kabbalah, Hebrew text distortions. They inverted the 12 tree of life. If you're working on the 12 tree, you're working on the tree of death, homies. They brought us the Course in Miracles channeling. Archangel Michael, Isis, Merlin, Thoth. That's just one fallen angel. This fallen angel also brought us Isis mythical skulls, Pleiadian channels, and UFO contacts. They brought us the Rosicrucian teachings, all the Olympian gods of Rome and Greece are coming from these Pleiadian, Semyasi, Luciferian Anunnaki. They're part of the Galactic Federation, the Ashtar Command. Okay? Yeah. Guardians don't follow these teachings, you guys. Mother Mary contacts. Oh my gosh. The Thoth Inki, another huge influence on us. They're the ones who brought us Thoth. All kinds of people promoting Thoth, the Greek Hermes, Trismegistus, fallen angelic, homies. phantom beings brought you Thoth and these supposed enlightened teachings of Greek Hermes Trismegistus. They brought us the Greek Roman Aemilius and Julius Caesar, Nubarian king lines. So understand who Julius Caesar represents, right? Some Roman and Greek Olympian god legends. They brought us the Mayan Quetzalcoatl. They forced us to follow the Mayan calendar, and the Nubarian created Julian calendar in Rome. This is, the Egyptian Osiris Isis mystical schools. So many people love Osiris. They love Isis and Horus. You're following angelic shit, homies. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Brotherhood of the Snake, Atlantean mystical schools. Lord Melchizedek. Thoth, Alpha, Omega, Melchizedek. Osiris, Isis, Horus, Egyptian schools. I think it's a driving force within the contemporary New Age movement, Indigo hijack plan, which is, by the way, body snatching. As of yet unawakened, some of you are awakened indigo children, type 1s, type 2s, type 3s, via astral implants tagging, astral overshadowing, and eventual full body possession. You see, even indigos can fall to the dark side. Okay, let's look at the Zeta gray aliens. The Zeta. Omicron. Associations with Buddhism, Tibetan, Eastern Christian spiritual texts, necromancy, the Luciferian Satanic Bible, false Sananda Jesus, the Thule Society. I won't list any names here. Zeta, that's what I was trying to find. Zeta. MJ12 is coming from this fallen angels. Nazi Zeta coming from here. And this Thule Society already mentioned. Aleister Crowley, fallen angelic. Black Sun, fallen angelic. Golden Dawn, fallen angelic. Enochian watchtowers, fallen angelic. Metaphysical cults and practices like astrology. Pagan teachings. Philadelphia Experiment, Montauk Project. I mean, I could go on and on and on, you guys. Where do you think these practices are coming from? And now you want to bring them into our house? You want to bring them into the innerchristos law of one? Direct vertical connection to God? No, we call it out. We transmute that. Even if it's not popular, I'm not going to be popular. Because these teachings are not going to be popular when so many people are pushing those things that that these fallen angels brought to us. I just got through explaining earlier, it is the Jehovian Anunnaki who created New Age. All these practices are coming from fallen angels. They're false light systems. And now you're divining, you're scrying, you're finding information in the stars. Instead of going inside to the innerchristos, that's their whole ploy. If they can't get you into fear and submission, they're going to get you into following false light systems. So a lot of people are just taken into religion because of the fear and into the blind subservience and worshiping. They get pulled into that, but not everyone's tricked by that. But so they create other systems for starseeds and indigos to fall into. Like the Galactic Fed, like this whole teachings about Enoch, like the teachings of Thoth, like you just saw, Aleister Crowley, Golden Dawn. See, I didn't know better. I have Golden Dawn books. I have these Thoth books, praising these beings. I didn't know better. This is the same with people now. They don't know better. You're a starseed. You're supposed to be doing learning from the innerchristos these practices of healing and protecting, not falling into these new age practices of like tarot cards or astrology, birth charts, or any type of scrying, any type of divining, using cards or anything. We don't need anything like that, you guys. You don't need a tool. You don't need a Ouija board. You don't need anything to connect you to your higher selves or to Source God. I mean, if you've been watching me, if you're a member on my channel, you've been learning this stuff, you guys should know this already. And don't take my word for it. Look in the teachings themselves. The actual Emerald Order teachings, not someone else who made a channel, not Lisa Renee, not Iasha, but the original teachings that hasn't been distorted, that is within the Emerald Covenant, within unity and Christ consciousness. That's about God being sovereign, being free. You are God sovereign free. You have the control of your spiritual ascension. You don't need anything except to heal the distortion within yourself. Nobody can do that for you. You can't borrow ascension. You can't buy it. You can't steal it. You have to go through the work and transformation within yourself. Nobody can tell you what you are. The stars, the planets can't tell you what you are. You go inside to find out who you are. I can't tell you who you are. Your own soul will tell you. That's what this is about. It's about your own soul. You connecting to your soul through your chakra, your fourth Templar, your fifth and sixth Templar. You connect and find out exactly who you are, exactly what your mission is, where you're coming from. I'm not telling you. Some psychic isn't telling you. And if they did tell you, how does that help you? You still don't experience it yourself. You have to experience it yourself, holy ones. And so, most people learning about starseeds don't even know about the root races. Don't know about the cloistered races. They don't know about the genetic hybridization that's happened in stages on planet Earth, do they? Do they? Are they talking about these starseeds? Are they talking about hybridization? Are they talking about 3 different Lemurias, 3 different Atlantis? You see what I'm saying? There's so much missing, so much twisted out there. So that's why this isn't popular, because it's breaking the chains, breaking the illusions of anything that goes against the inner Christos, that goes against the inner connection, direct connection to God. They want to take that out of the equation. They don't want you to awaken to your 12 strand because you would figure this stuff out. Inchswish Archive. Christos Avatar TV, unrelated question, but do you think relationships are bad for ascension? I want to get married, but I fear it might interfere with my ascension. Well, good question, Holy One. Basically, it depends on your partner. Like, if you know yourself, but what is your partner, right? Let's say your partner's not aligning. Well, it could become a distraction. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it could become a personal distraction for you. Now, your partner is God sovereign free. They make their own choices. Usually we choose relationships that are aligned with our beliefs. But if you love this person and they're not aligning with the beliefs, it's not bad, but it could be a distraction. Something that you have to keep on your feet all the time. Right? Just think of it that way. It's going to be harder for you to have some, your partner not going in the same direction. It could, like, you guys could have some conflict because of the distortions. They won't understand what you're talking about from a unity or Christ conscious point of view. So it's not bad, it's just, it could cause problems, distractions, conflict. So that's up to you. You use your own discernment. No one can make that choice for you. So consider that. Thank you. Good question. I was wondering, G-Light, since you mentioned movies, how is it going getting your move prepared? Movies and move. You capitalize the word M, move. Mention movies. I don't understand your question, G-Light. Maybe you can, like, reword it. If you're talking about me moving, I still can't afford moving. And I actually will be doing a GoFundMe to help me with my trip to Sedona. I can't afford that really. So probably within the next week or so, I need to do it soon. I will be asking for help, just to help me, because it's a whole big, I think 7 days. I don't want to personally stay there longer than 7 days, but yeah. Regarding the move, if that's what you meant, it's going to take me a while. I'm nowhere near that, so I'm just having patience. There could be something behind the scenes that may help me, but I can't count on that. I can't count on that. I have to start planning other ways to get, take care of certain things. So thanks for the question, Holy One. Oh, I haven't been booted, Indigo Wizard. Sorry you're having connection issues. The internet seems strong. Oh, G-Light, I've experienced those heart pains after I dealt with an extreme life-changing event of experiences. It does go away after you release it and forgive yourself and all others. So maybe forgiving is a big part of that. And but yeah, I think there's some buildup and just... These are young people, like in their 20s. So, but still, I guess you can have very traumatic childhood and have those issues. So it's the starseeds. It's a big deal about this consciousness on Earth because it is what is been, you would say, assisting the consciousness of the rest of the humans. So we're talking about a small minority of the population would be connected to the starseed consciousness, or those of you connecting to your parallel self or awareness of that version of yourself. It's kind of like we're multidimensional. You're not just this, but you're also that and other levels of yourself. So it's like you saw, even if Indigo Children can fall, or even Speaker 1 can fall. You see, there's all kinds of danger here still, right? So we are just got to be persistent. I would say persistent in our protection, persistent in our, I would say, continuous, like regularly cleansing, protecting your space. Learning more spiritual knowledge. Thank you for those hearts, whoever's doing that. Bless you. We want to make this more and more of a full-time thing. I mean, I understand some people can't do it full-time because they're full-time job, but we need to be preparing our life and our mind, our spirit, our energy much more frequently. We need to be more involved in more of the healing, more of the checking ourselves. And making sure we're not, we got to be mindful of our thoughts, mindful of our actions, mindful of our relationships and our conversations. all those have to be, we have to take those to higher levels, you guys. Like that marriage idea. You need to consider all the consequences that could happen if the partner isn't going to be aligned with Christ consciousness or unity. They might fight you because, there's a strong reaction from religious people to this information. So they could trigger to what you believe in compared to what you believe in. I mean, they believe in. They could actually have a negative reaction. Like, I haven't had that too much from my parents, but they are into the fear and damnation and savior and having a savior and all that, and doing communion, reenacting blood ritual sacrifice, reenacting it in their minds and their hearts, and being subservient and putting down women. I mean, it's in the churches. They're going to put down women. That's what their teaching is about. That's what the Word of God in the Bible says. And so, you could, if you go and have a marriage with a strong religious person, how did it even get there? Like, if you're Christic and awakening, unless it was after the fact, you're already with this person, right? For me, personally, it's going to be very hard. I don't expect another relationship in my life, but if I do, she's going to have to be Christic. I'm not going to just go with some 3D chick just because she's beautiful or something, for example. This woman will need to be, for me to be connected with her, I would want her to be Christic, into this natural, organic unity and respect for all life. Like, I respect all life. I don't want to hurt nothing. I don't want to get in a fight or cause aggression or, create fear to someone. That's not me anymore. I would never want to do that. And I never wanted to hurt anything to begin with. Like, I think in my life, I've been in 2 fights in my life. That's it, 2 fights. And both of them when I was in high school. Well, one was after a few years after high school. But they were both bullies. These were both bullies. And so I had to react. I had to, take care of the situation. Or, so I didn't want to fight, even though they kept pushing and pushing day 1, day 2, next week, every week. And, after a while, you don't put up with it, right? But I didn't want to be in a fight. I don't want to have a gun or weapon. But of course, if I had a family and kids in the household, I would want something to protect ourselves. But in general, I'm walking in this world with a divine protection, you could say. That's what I would prefer to protect myself with that connection. And so you can't be foolish or naive, but I think it's very important to be mindful of who you are interacting with on a family level, on a friendship level, on a romantic level. Be very mindful, because when you become serious about your energies, you don't want no one else influencing your energies or doing anything to your energies or knocking you off balance. You won't allow it. You will put boundaries on those kinds of relationships and conversations. Thank you, Holy One. Whoever's positive emojis there. Yeah. So, and you may find yourself alone or even lonely. I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. I don't get lonely when I'm doing these lives with you guys, right? I don't need to have a girlfriend or something. I just, it's not I'm not like going out on the dating scene. I'm not trying to hook up or flirt. If I see some girl and I know she's Christic and she's very beautiful, she would probably grab my attention, right? I'm not dead. So I'm still alive and functional, but so I'm not like in my, even my 30s and 40s, I still looked good. Like, just because it's close to the end of my show, let me share something like that. If I can find images, photos, photo shoots. That's. Are you kidding me? I guess I don't have this. Ugh. Well, I'll just show one picture and a couple pictures what I used to look like, but I don't look like now. This is me in Ukraine when I was still modeling. And so, yeah, I was different. And so now it's not as important to me what my, this appearance. So, yeah, I was totally different. And this was only probably 10 years ago. So, I was in a different life, a different consciousness, a different value system. But this is what you get now. I mean, I could still cut my hair short and dye it and start pumping iron again. I know how to pump iron. If I had this lovely female in my life, I would have this big incentive to make sure I'm lovely again. When you guys, some of you know that when you start to become single and not really actively going out to social scenes, you let things go, or you don't care. It's not your priority. It's not so priority. You're not trying to attract someone. But in those days, yeah, I was heavy into the opposite sex and trying to attract and so. And that was such a big deal. My appearance was a big deal. My what I wore was a big deal. I would go out of my way to get nice looking clothes, and I'm not saying that's bad. That's not my message. My message is I switched my value system. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to have the most perfect everything, right, physically or whatever. But I think we should have balance. Like we should have, some even light workout, or even a majority of your diet should be healthy. So this comes down to personal choices and discernment. So to each their own. For me, it became where I was going into work, and then I just kept working, and I just love working, and that's my priority. That's my lifestyle, just working. And I already have had a child, right? I have a grown-up daughter now. I have a granddaughter even. So I'm not missing anything. I already did that part. Now I'm like the mage in the tower. Like a reference to World of Warcraft or something. I'm like the mystic. I'm the lone mystic now. It doesn't mean I'm going to stay alone. I'm just saying, hey, maybe there was a few possibilities, but those possibilities, you find out there's distortion there, or it's just not happening there, right? And I won't allow myself just to be with some girl because she's gorgeous, right? That, what am I going to take into that relationship? That would be such a superficial, bad decision. If she's Christic and she's beautiful, wow, what a gift. That's probably my twin flame. My twin flame is definitely some girl who attracts me. She's got that magnetism just right. Like, why am I seeking certain qualities? Why do you guys seek certain qualities? Why do you find that type of person attractive and someone else not, even though they're still handsome or beautiful, you know? But you're like, there's something on a deeper level that I'm seeking. It seems like I'm seeking a certain type of girl. And when I see her, I'll recognize it. Anyways, I don't know where this happened. This is the end of the live, so I just kind of went into personal life shit. Machiwa, and I respect all people, and I respect women, of course, and I'm just not going to be into every woman, and I wouldn't expect you guys to either, to be into any man, just any guy. There's a certain type of person, a certain type of partner for you. And I'm definitely heterosexual. Definitely only into the opposite gender. Because nowadays you have to be very explicit. And it needs to be only a girl that was born a girl. Straight up. Nowadays you have to make those... Wouldn't it be really messed up if you have to ask someone, were you born a girl? You know? Hey, I don't have something personally against transgenders or homosexual, but I don't want that in my personal life. I don't want those energies in my life. So that's your choice, not my choice. It's in my family. I see homosexuality in my family, but I'm not that for sure. So, people are testing the waters. Maybe I could be bi. I'm not saying me. I'm saying someone else could say that. Maybe I tried some stuff when I was in college, and not me. I'm talking about other people. I will say that I have had gay guys, flirt with me, but at the end of the day, I made sure they know I can be kind and friendly to them, but be honest and upfront with them. I'm only into girls. We can hang out and be cool with each other, but not like that, right? Anyways, you guys. What's up, homies? Stephen Oswald, what's up, brother? Woohoo! Thank you, Holy One. You guys, before we end, we need at least $30 more. Let's make it $33 more, you guys. If someone can help out with even half of that or part of that, $33 more, and we got this covered tonight. What's up, Holy Ones? We could even get lit. If some of you wanted to get lit, I know some of you can't stand me getting lit, but I don't do it that often. So you're welcome to leave if you don't like that, but maybe someone else wants to get lit together. Poopsick forever? What the... That's crazy. I used to use that name. Oh my gosh. Because like I would call my girlfriend Moya Marmeladnia, and she would call me Poopsick. And there's a song by Katya called Poopsick. So this is why Poopsick became my username. So it just trips me out to see you, brother, using that. Poopsick forever. Does attending drum circles help activate your chakras? Was wondering because I wanted to start attending some myself. I don't know for sure. I don't see. I think it could activate something. It's a powerful frequency, man. It's tribal, and I think what it does is it connects you to some of your lifetimes where it was more of into that, because it's not just a modern thing. Drumming, it's ancient, it's tribal, it's been in our race culture. So if you are reincarnating and you had that in your race culture before, you're bringing those memories back. And even if you don't completely understand what's going on when you're in a drum circle, you will feel it, man. And I can't say the drumming itself because I'm not a drummer, I'm a dancer. I like to do ecstatic dancing. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. It's just basically you just dancing, not some genre of dance, but a dancing that's coming from inside, how it makes you feel like moving, how you're gonna move. I'm at a drum circles, and just look at some of my drum circle videos. You'll see me dancing, just feeling it. And yeah, I dress like a hardcore hippie when I dance. I don't care. I don't care what people say or think. That's what I feel. I feel like those colors and those weird crazy pants, and I just feel it. So I'm with other people who are feeling it, and there isn't going to be a judgment there. Of course, I can't say that all people who go to drum circles are spiritual, but there's plenty who are. Plenty of other people who, I encourage you guys to go to drum circles. Now, just keep in mind that there will be a bunch of New Agers into New Age practices. Just be mindful of that and not get caught up in that yourself. And that's your God's sovereign free will choice to do so. But just realize I go to drum circles and I'm probably one of the few who are representing Christic consciousness. Just saying. And I won't, when you are very aware of these teachings, you can take that with you wherever you go, including a drum circle, where there's a bunch of people, a bunch of New Agers. So what? You're a Christic being, you have discernment. It's just like when I watch movies. I can watch a zombie movie, but I'm a Christic person, and that doesn't influence me. That doesn't make me be in fear or horror, because I know this is entertainment. I know that this is part of a social programming, but I'm not in that programming. I'm not the one being programmed. I am God sovereign free. It's very hard for these people to trick someone who's God sovereign free. When you can check the information or the story or the movie and know exactly what's up. It won't influence you. It won't bother you. Stardust Goddess, Get Lit, Bad Boy, Halo, and Poopsic Forever. Yeah, that's crazy. Since I'm part Latino, I would call my Russian girlfriend Mommy. And she called me Poppy. Man, Russian girls are so beautiful. I mean, I'm an American boy, and that's like exotic. Any girl from another country is exotic, right? To what you're used to. I have there's nothing wrong with American girls, of course. I'm just saying that I notice, I dated a Scottish woman, Russian girls, Ukrainian girls, black girl, Latina girls, Chinese girl, Japanese girlfriend. Some of these were foreign exchange students. And so then I got into Russian girls because I fell in love with the Russian girl, and we were together for 3.5 years. So when our relationship broke up, I was still seeking that. So I went to Ukraine. I know it sounds so messed up, but that's where my life was then. But yeah, I got into the culture and the Russian music or what was popular, and I went to Ibiza nightclub in Odessa Mama. Odessa Mama was the shit, man. I mean, it was an awesome place to be. They had the best nightclubs I've ever been to in my life. They were part of the nightclub was on the beach. You were on the beach, man. And then 4 o'clock in the morning rolls in, and you're right. There's a bunch of people still dancing in the beach. Beautiful women, beautiful people. It was a great experience from a 3D point of view. But I have to say that while I was in Ukraine, that's when I started being interested in the spiritual life. So maybe I was meant to go there. I don't know, for that reason, even though I wasn't aware of it, right? But I only found one honest, true girlfriend there. All the other ones were pretty much superficial relationships. So you can get a superficial girlfriend in any country. Okay? But I was dating girls who lived in villages. Like I wasn't trying to, it just happened to be that the girl lived in a small village, and in those villages they have cows and goats tied up to the trees and stuff like that. But yeah, it was interesting because there's also corruption in Ukraine and Russia. When I went there, I've been in Kiev, I've been in Kharkov, I've been in Nikolaev, I've been in Sumy, I've been in Odessa, I've been in I can't even remember all the cities, but I met some cool friends, and some were very helpful and watched out for my back. The girl who was my girlfriend, she was very protective of me. She wouldn't allow no one to mess with me because I didn't know all of Russian. I just know, chut-chut, a little bit. But I think there was always a reason for me to be over there, because why? That's another question I ask myself. Why am I attracted to Russian girls? Well, maybe that was because there's a connection in past lives. Why am I attracted to like Latina girls besides I'm part Latina? Well, because I know I've lived in those countries of Latino people, like other lifetimes, in the Mayan, in the Aztec. Maybe I was dating an Aztec princess, right? Inca ladies. Like when I did go to Machu Picchu, the women there were very lovely and different mentality. A lot of Latinas in America are very hot-headed, but that's their culture, right? The mother of my daughter is Honduran, but speaking Spanish in America, right? So, yeah, all these connections, like, I'm not just talking about my life. Think about your guys' life. You guys met certain types of people, or you were drawn to certain types of people. When you were incarnated here, we were meant to meet certain people. Like, I believe very strongly that even though it wasn't a long-lasting love with the mother of my child, we were supposed to create my daughter. And now my daughter has that unique DNA where it passed on to our granddaughter. And so, who's still a little tiny baby. So those all had meanings and purposes and agreements, soul agreements. As a starseed, as an indigo, we had these plans. So good night, Syrian Star Princess. Bless you, sister. Jazzy Jazz! What's up, Holy One? Much respect to you, sister. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. What's up? OP? OP. Over. Oh, what does that mean, OP? Like, I know the word, but now I just forgot it. Original poster. Oh, original poster? Original G. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jazzy Jazz. Much respect, holy ones. I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. There's less people, so some people we could get lit, or we could wait to Saturday to get lit. How about we wait to Saturday? Let's do that, you guys. So we'll get lit on Saturday. But thank you guys for joining my live. I know it's getting late, so some people are tired. So thank you. Jazzy Jazz, yes, Jazzy Jazz helped me get to the final set. Yes, thank you so much, Jazzy Jazz. Blessing, sister, and G Light helped me get there. Much respect. Shada hure akuntan. Shada hure akuntan. Shada hure akuntan. Many blessings to all of you. Many blessings to your awakening, Starseed. Finding out you're an indigo child. Seeing that indigo light, that indigo ray in your aura. Seeing teal in your aura. Seeing, you would say, pale gold, pale yellow, pale magenta. 13th, 14th, and 15th dimensional level of yourself. You're not limited to 7 chakras. Go for the higher ones, baby. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 chakras, 15 connections. What's up? Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. Starseeds and indigos and angelic humans. Thank you for bringing this consciousness together, this group energy. This is not a group without you guys. We're doing this as a group effort. Special thanks to all my moderators, Stardust Goddess, and I know Celine couldn't make it tonight. She told me ahead of time. Thank you to Indigo Wizard, and thank you to my brother from Australia down under, Mr. Madism. Blessings to Sarah Holder and Little Alien, and thank you so much to all those who are part of this effort. Thank you guys. Many respect to all of you. What's your email? I don't know. It hasn't changed. innerchristos@gmail.com. It's in my link below, you guys, if you need my email. Thank you, Lauren Wisdom. Bless you, sister. And Jazzy Jazz. Thank you guys so much. All of you for coming tonight. 111 likes. 111. Woohoo! Thank you, Stardust, sister. Poopsick forever! What's up, homie? Good night, Holy One. Yeah, 111. Yeah, Starman, too, is a moderator. He just doesn't show up in public very much. But that's okay. He let me know. He's there. Yeah, innerchristos@gmail.com. That's it. Thank you, brother. And you guys, make sure, I encourage you to go into the teachings, read Voyager's books, and start watching the video workshops with the old school Ashiana Dean from the early 1998 up to the early 2000s, and it goes up to about 2008. That's where we recommend. And start doing techniques and learning how to reclaim your starseed self, your indigo self. That gives you step-by-step suggestions or steps. So thank you guys. Much respect. I'll see you guys on Saturday. All right? Much love. Much respect, reverent respect, omni love, eternal joy and bliss and grace and mindfulness and responsibility and you would say accountability and also impeccability and self-sovereignty and self-love. Bless you and your path, you guys. Omni-Christos love. Peace, homies. Aho. Namaste. I write it in chat. Omni-Christos love. What's up, baby? Yeah. Starseeds and Indigos. See you next time. See you soon, you guys. Check out my videos. Binge on my playlist. Peace to you. Woohoo! Party time! Sup?